and we can start with today's webinar. So welcome everyone. My name is Juho Pesonen. I'm from the University of Eastern Finland Business School. I'm the professor of tourism business there, and this is a webinar designed for our stakeholders, networks, tourism businesses, destinations, and our tourism students who are working in the field of tourism technologies and are interested in this topic. This is organized by University of Eastern Finland and International Federation for IT and Travel and Tourism. Our master degree program in tourism marketing management, is based in University of Eastern Finland in our Joensuu campus. And I'm also, besides running the program, I'm also the chairperson of the board at the International Federation for IT and Travel and Tourism. So today we are going to have 7 presentations from 7 different companies working in this field, and they are all companies that I've get to know and I've been following in different channels and ways for quite a long time, and I'm really happy that all these 7 companies could come here. I think this is kind of like my dream team for tourism technologies at this moment. So many interesting platforms, softwares, companies present here. I'll pass links to the chat as the day goes on. This webinar will also be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel, which I will also add to chat soon. But without further ado, I think we can start the program for today. And first, we have the Data Appeal company. So Diego, please, the virtual floor is yours.
Thanks very much for the introduction, and let me just share my screen. Let me know whenever you can see it, and we're good to go. Okay, guys. Well, thanks very much for the invite. Thanks very much to everyone who's joining us. And let's start the morning with data, something quite light to start with. So basically, every single minute, there's over 5 million new pieces of online feedback being left behind. And this is by people experiencing the world in different ways. This could be by somebody buying a pair of shoes in Florence, where we're based as a company, to somebody commenting on a hotel stay in Helsinki, for example. So all these different pieces of feedback inform decisions on how people are going to start behaving afterwards. This is both consumers and future travelers for us in the business. So let's start with something upbeat, the problem. So the problem that we have is that our industry is still relying on traditional metrics, and I've been part of this issue in the past in other jobs that I had, leading airlines and so forth. And this is that we always had a scarcity of data. We can always rely on historical data to make decisions. Whereas these days, as we know, with this lovely virus that is going around, we can't rely on historical data, and we need to look for new ways of thinking how we're going to use data to make future decisions. And we think that online feedback is something that has to be considered by travel businesses. So just to give you an idea of some of the stats, so 86% of people say they trust online feedback as much as they would trust a recommendation from a friend or from a family member. And then 93% of people say that they looked at online feedback before deciding to purchase something. This could be online or offline, but they did look at that feedback before purchasing something. So we believe that if travel businesses are not looking at this data, they could potentially be missing out on a lot of very valuable insights. So the solution, of course, I was going to come with a sales pitch, and that's where we come in. So effectively, we help understand everything, or most of the things that are going on, most of the conversations that are being had online that would inform future behaviors. So what we do is we provide a mix of location, sentiment, and market intelligence data, and that's for any point of interest brand, or territory worldwide. So let me explain a little bit how it works. So in terms of location, we start with mapping a destination. Let's say we start by mapping the whole of Finland, okay? Once we start mapping the whole of Finland, what we mean about selecting the whole of Finland is getting all these different geographical coordinates checked on a map. Think about Google Maps and think about the points that you see on a Google map. That's what we do. So think anything from a food truck to a hotel, an attraction, a restaurant, you name it. Once we mapped those points, those geographical coordinates on the map, we will add the business information to each of those coordinates. And that's to determine that each of those geographical coordinates it's a business, for example. So we will determine that X coordinate is a hotel, the name of the hotel, the opening hours, the amenities that they offer, the tax ID, and so forth. That's on the location side of things. Once we establish that, then we move on what we call sentiment. And this is when it starts getting interesting. This is our secret sauce. We start tracking over 130 different third-party sources worldwide. This is anything from TripAdvisor, Google, The Fork, Booking.com, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we have it there. So what we start doing is we start tracking all these different sources, and then we use our machine learning, artificial intelligence, semantic analysis to be able to categorize and analyze over 500 million pieces of content every day. What we do with that is we start allocating into different clusters, into different categories and subcategories, and then we start allocating a sentiment to each of those individual pieces of feedback that we see. And then what we do is once we've got that sentiment, we allocate it to all these points of interest into a map. So every hotel will have a sentiment score. This is our own proprietary data. So we come with an index from 0 to 100 about what that sentiment score is. So every point of interest will have a sentiment score, and then we will have an overall score for, let's say, the whole of Finland or the whole of the territory. Finally, what we add is context. What's happening in the market? What's happening with hotels? How are prices fluctuating? How's the occupancy fluctuating? What about events? Are there any events happening over time that may have an effect on what's happening in the territory? How is weather affecting demand? And all of this that we do, we provided in real time. And this is just to give you an example of how it works. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through exactly everything, but the most important thing here that you need to understand is that everything that we do, being an Italian-based company, is GDPR compliant. So we start anonymizing the data from the moment we start processing, and then to the time we deliver the insights to the destination of the customer, everything is anonymized, everything is GDPR compliant. So whenever we derive that insight, you can share it. There's no issue with that. How it works is, as I mentioned, we collect all this data, we put our secret source, our AI, our sentiment analysis algorithm, and we make it rest on an API. And then we deliver data in two different ways. One is through a SaaS, an online platform that you'll be able to access through the internet, which I'll show you in a minute. And the other one is through what we call an API call out. So you can actually make calls into our API requesting the information that you need. That could be for specific things, or that could be unlimited. So as I said, what we offer is a real-time analysis of what's happening in the territory, a brand, or any point of interest. What you need to understand, and I think what is actually really key, is that this is the perception of the customer. So I'm just going to highlight these two things here. You can read the rest, but effectively, the most important thing here is it's not what, let's say, Finland thinks tourists like about Finland. It's not about what people owning hotels think that tourists like about hotels. This is the customer telling you what they like, what they don't like, what they expect to see, what they don't expect to see, what they would like to see done better. And all of this is done in real time. We can move the different time periods, and I'll show you that in a minute. And in terms of the demand, sorry, I don't know if that, there we go. And in terms of the demand, again, a similar picture. everything in real time. And I just want you to focus on these two here. And this is one that is quite key. And then we'll share this particular link. So if you see that link, that's a link to our website for a particular article that we've done on the correlation coefficient. This is a study that we've done to find a correlation between the seasonality of when the sentiments are being left line and the future arrivals into a territory. So for those who don't know, usually what tends to happen is in the travel industry, if you tend to rely on arrival stats being provided by an official entity, those arrival stats, they will come to your desk if you're a business, maybe a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, or never, depending on how good your tourism board is. So by us doing this study, we've been able to determine, we actually did it with the official statistics office of Italy, where we compare the arrivals as they happen throughout the year for each of those months, and then when the sentiment was left for those months. And we found a correlation of almost 1-to-1. To be precise, 0.96, okay? So meaning that effectively the sentiment that we see, the sentiment that we analyze, is a perfect example of what's going to happen for future arrivals. So in real time with our data, you'll be able to anticipate the future demand into a territory. That's the idea behind it. It will be a lot better explained on our website and with the different case studies on how we derive those insights and how we got to the correlation coefficient. And this is an example of our SaaS platform. This is called Data Peel Studio. So what you'll see there, this is the seasonality that I was mentioning before. And from this particular dashboard, you've got a snapshot of absolutely everything. The pricing of hotels, as I mentioned, the different source markets, the type of languages that people are using to leave their feedback. You can compare competitors. You can look at the different industries that we are tracking. You can look at hospitality, food and beverage, attractions. Then you can look at the channels that people are using to leave those reviews, the cluster as to where we allocate that sentiment, and the main topics being discussed. Then also what you can do is, as I mentioned, we create our own indexes. So all of this is proprietary. The key thing about this that you need to remember is that because it's created by us, we measure. In the case of Italy, where we're measuring the region of Veneto, we measure it in exactly the same way as we will measure Finland, for example. So you can compare yourself if you wanted between Finland and Italy or Spain or Sweden or whoever else you would like. And finally, I wanted to leave you with this particular slide. I'm not going to go through all of it, but this is the importance of being able to do data better. This is the importance of being able to analyze data and make sense out of it. And this is quite in vogue at the moment. So as you know, the United Nations released the 17 Development Sustainable Goals. And these are to try to have a measurement for sustainability, okay? Now, what we've done is we said, look, sustainability means a lot to a lot of people. We need to start by saying what it means to us and what we can track and what we can measure realistically. So what we've done is, when I say we, wasn't me, was the clever people working for me and not for me, working in the company, is they detected out of the 17 topics, they detected this 5. And within those 5, we started analyzing using the same principle of the data that I shared with you before, plus adding a couple of things from open source data, from Copernicus in terms of the satellite imagery, and then from the European National Environmental Agency, where we can start tracking the particles of CO2 plus other gases that can tell us what's going on in terms of sustainability in a destination. As I said, with all of our data, and maybe I don't know if I was clear with that, is we can go back 4 years into the past. So we can track the evolution of sustainability over time for any territory worldwide. And then whenever we look forward, we look 3 months into the future as to what we see is happening, particularly from the likes of the hospitality side of things in terms of the evolution of hotels, okay? So this is why we think data is imperative, and being able to push the boundaries of what you can do with data, allows you to come up with things that, well, to be perfectly honest, even for us, up to a couple of months ago, this was impossible to measure. I just wanted to leave you finally with some of the people that we work with. This is just to give you an idea of some of the DMOs that we work, but we also work in different industries as well that they can apply this data. So the finance industry, real estate, food and beverage, distribution, and so forth. So that's me. I'll stop boring you for now. You will find me with that photo of a couple of years ago with less gray hairs that I've got right now. That's my LinkedIn profile, so you can try to find me there, stalk me, but send me a request. I will always accept it quite gladly. And if there's anything I can do to help, I'm more than happy to help you out. That's me. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Diego, so much. I don't think any of us was 1 second bored with your presentations. It was great to see what you guys are doing, and really impressive stuff with the sustainability measurements. And that's the thing with smart tourism, that when tourism gets smarter, we get more and more data to back up our decision-making processes. And that's excellent stuff. Does anyone have any questions for Diego for the Data Appeal Company? You can either use the chat or raise your hand, for example, in the chat function. While we are waiting, if other people come up with questions, I was really interested about the ethical scraping part of your data. Do you have? It's probably not your main topic of interest at this moment, but do you have some kind of like guidelines? What consists ethical scraping?
Yeah,
of course it follows the GDPR regulations, but is there something else there?
Yeah, I think so. For us, let me start by saying that ideally we would like to get all our data from partnerships, but of course getting partnerships from all of these data providers is quite time consuming and very difficult to achieve. But with a lot of them, we do have a lot of partnerships. So that's why I put partnerships there. Absolutely, exactly what you mentioned. Ethical scraping means that everything is GDPR compliant. And what it means is that our technology is not intrusive to whatever is being done on the website. So we don't try to force any systems to do things that they shouldn't be doing. We don't try to collect data that we shouldn't be collecting. We don't collect personal data from the users. So it's just basically following whatever the website allows us to do. And the websites, for those who you don't know, they will have different rules. So that means that we adhere to those different rules. That's what ethical scraping means. Yeah. You can scrape in a different way, which is, you would have seen the issues with Ryanair and people like that, where people just go and try to get as much information as they can without having to basically forcing the system to do things that they shouldn't do and getting information that they shouldn't be getting. So that's the difference in a nutshell between the two.
Excellent, thank you. Anna asked in the chat that are your clients more DMOs or private companies?
Very good question. So historically, the company started in the travel sector, and that's still our main focus. So DMOs, particularly if you think from the Italian government, pretty much all the different regions in Italy are ours as well. But we're seeing more and more, and particularly during the pandemic, I hate to say the word, but unfortunately I have to mention it. During the pandemic, because the tourism sector, as we all know, has been so badly hit, then a lot of other businesses have approached us. So we're working with brands, just to give you an idea, brands like Coca-Cola, Heineken, Campari, JLL, which is a company based on real estate, Wi-Fi providers, retail providers. So it's now becoming a bit of a mix, but still I would say that the breakdown is still roughly 70 to 80% DMOs and tourism businesses, because we also help hotels, and 20% sort of outside of the travel industry.
So destinations and hotels within the travel and tourism sector are kind of like your main clients.
Yes, we're also seeing some tour operators as well, trying to join us. More about understanding, basically trying to understand the process of their entire sales and marketing funnel and how everything's working. But particularly it's mainly DMOs and hotels. And the company started providing the service specifically to hotels.
Great. Thank you so much, Diego. So basically, if you're interested in this kind of data and analysis for your business or destination, no matter where in the world you are, you can contact Diego, right?
Exactly. We can map anything from a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific to a whole continent. You basically whatever you need.
That's impressive. Thank you so much, Diego, and guys, please connect with Diego, and you can find his contact information here. And now we move on with the program, and Tommy is perfect with the timing. Tommy, can you hear and see us?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Juho.
Good morning. To stay on schedule, we are ready for doers to show us what you guys can do for tourism destinations and businesses.
All right, thanks. I'll share my presentation here. So 20 minutes if my memory serves me right. And maybe we have some time for questions and something like that. So yes, my name is Tommy. I'm the founder and CEO of Doers, and talking about Doers Local mainly today. So here's a little bit background of the company. So we founded in 2016. At the moment, we have something like 1,250 plus experiences in 8 countries in Europe, mainly in Finland and in Germany or German-speaking Europe. But there's other countries as well. The focus customer, the end customer, has changed a little bit since it was earlier. It was obviously, international fit or indie traveler. These days, it's most likely domestic traveler, but luckily getting back to the new normal. So it's targeted for the fit and indies mainly this platform. We do 6 languages. The platform has been translated to that, and we are a team of 7 professionals, have been able to grow within Corona quite nicely, which is good for us. But I very well understand the situation, which is horrible for many travel businesses. Built from my idea of creating unforgettable memories when traveling, not looking at the sightseeing, but getting to know the local life. And so Doers Local is what we talk about today. We have platform for the DMO cities, even some airlines, travel agencies have been using it, and it's suitable for any destination marketing organization. We do have doers.com platform where we list all the experiences and sell them through that platform, and we also have something for the event organizers and stuff. But Doers Local is the biggest best-selling product we have. This is the ecosystem this is the way it works at its best. When we do our part, the destination does marketing and helps to find the local hidden gems and local companies, even the individuals who can also provide experiences through our system. And then the experience providers themselves, we call them doers, people who do things. And in the core of all this, we have the customer, the end customer, booking and paying for the experiences. Some logos of our partners. So we work together with I think something like 90 cities in Finland, Sweden, and Germany nowadays, and so they are using our product. And some print screens from Finnair holidays back in the days when people were traveling to Rome, London, and Berlin. We did some tailored experiences there for their customers. One of our customers, a city of Tampere, my hometown. Even if I've been living in Turku for 20 years, I still apparently call Tampere my hometown. Turku is great, by the way. But this is interesting because of the fact that I think still almost all of the experience providers in Tampere region are individuals without business ID. So they are operating under something that you might call sharing economy, or gig economy. I don't know what's the best word for it, but it's anyway way of doing some financial transactions and something like a small business without having your company set up. So we accommodate that. It's possible through our platform, and that's why Tampere is interesting. Here's one screenshot just of one of our pilots in Arctic Tree House Hotel. But it's not only physical experiences, but also online, so virtual experiences. This was something that 2 years ago, when world was back in a situation where we didn't know anything about the pandemic yet, I would have said that online experiences are not valid business, and they're not going to be valid business for several years. But then COVID changed that. Suddenly, virtual experiences became something that you can actually do and pay to make it happen. So you would pay to do something virtually. When you're dreaming about the traveling, you can do virtual experiences and then go on the spot later on. So we started utilizing this on our platform as well. And since then, I would say at least hundreds, most likely thousands of experiences that we've sold have been happening virtually through our platform. Wine tasting with a sommelier in Rome, nature walk in I don't know, Helsinki region, forests, you name it. There's online cooking workshops in Germany, stuff that people have been doing through the platform. And what can we then offer for the cities? It's a one-stop shop for local experience services. You don't need another online shop or booking system. You can have it, but no need to do that. We offer all the bookings and payings and the money flow securely through our system. We use Stripe as a payment operator, and it's like I said, offline, online experiences can be integrated. We have free API for our customers that they can bring the content to their landing page if that's something that they prefer doing. We also have free of charge widgets in use, and you have the full control over the content. So how it works? Someone creates an experience, say it's a local business in your region, for example. They spend 15 minutes to begin with, so that's kind of like a very short time, and we wanted to keep it like that, so it doesn't require hours of work and days of workshopping to understand how to create it. It takes 15 minutes, and they do that. They create the experience, the activity. You as a moderator, if you are working for the DMO, you as an operator get an email. See that, hey, there's Tommy creating this online experience to our platform. Approve or decline. If that's something that you want to show under your brand, under your city site that we've been building for you, then you do that. So you have full control over the content and all the visuals present at the site. We get very efficiently feedback from the paying customers afterwards. That's something that platforms are quite good at, getting the feedback and reviews from paying customers, helping other customers to gain trust for the experience provider. And we're not just code, not at all. We help you in marketing. We help you in so many ways. We teach your experience providers. We have a digital coaching program called Doers Academy, which happens online. We share the data. We teach them best practices. We have host sessions for our experience providers and your experience providers all the time to make them work. Make the work easier for them offering the experiences. And we also share the data with you and other cities that would like to know where the market is going. And you can help the local entrepreneurs. Even you might have only businesses, like many of our customers have, no individuals whatsoever. They might have just the member companies offering activities, but some prefer doing a mix or just the other one. To find out more about Doers Local, go to doers.com/local. There we have the pricing visible also with the links. You can download the brochures and stuff if you need to know more. We are halfway done. So top 5 benefits of Doers Local for you as a city representative or DMO, how to utilize it. So you can have both individuals and companies offering services. It's completely scalable. It's very, very easy to use for, like I always say, for 3 people. Most importantly, it has to be easy to use for the experience provider. Unless it's not, they're not going to do it. If it's too difficult, they're not going to do it. And we've seen this in so many regions and cities. They've been trying testing some other platform, unable to get the content. No one understands how to do that. But then if we bring them easy enough to use tool, then they're going to do that, and you have the content and you can start marketing it. So it has to be easy for the experience provider. It has to be super easy for the customer to buy experience. Only a couple of clicks, that's it. You get everything is automated. You don't have to, fill forms that are 1 meter long, asking for your, maiden name or whatever. I don't know what information they typically ask. We just, want to make it as easy as possible for the person to book and get all the relevant information after that automatically. And then it has to be easy for the person who you might be as a DMO, visit organization person. We don't want to make your job harder. We want to make your job easier. We want to help you do your job and maybe take some of the load off you, help you in marketing. We do loads of social media, newsletters, SEO. We even create your banners for as part of the package. Yes, it's built for local experiences. That trend has not gone anywhere. It's even becoming stronger and kind of like, have the local content available for the domestic travelers, international travelers, but also for the locals. They have been buying lately quite a lot, which is nice. And no hidden costs whatsoever, because we hate it. We don't like any platforms that do. I mean, here's €1 extra in the end of the paying process to cover the costs of our office. I don't know. Here's the percentage, 2.9 plus 25 cents plus. Then from the service provider we take 5 and we take 2%. So who understands that? No one. We want to have 1% and that's it. Everyone understands it, and no hidden costs whatsoever. And joining is free. Offering the experiences is always free for the experience providers. Just the time, and that's 15 minutes. Yes, so like mentioned before, here's a little bit deeper. So we are a community. We help out. We network these people. We are also your marketing partner, so helping out with all that driving the traffic, converting them to paying customers. That's the most important thing, obviously. And we also statement towards live like a local trend. It's it became viable business. It used to be, it's been around for decades. I mean, now it's just, getting stronger and stronger, and now it's becoming viable business. And yeah, one case from Oulu last summer during the pandemic, first summer of that, we had Oulu joining and getting all their member companies to offer activities through the platform. In like within first 2 months, so we're talking about few weeks here, they had over 50 local experiences in the platform, several hundred bookings, tens of thousands of website visitors, and good hassle ongoing over there. And this was in the middle of the first year of pandemic, when we didn't know if anyone's going to buy anything, and they were successful in getting the content in very short time frame and being able to sell it. And they had like cool campaigns, like I don't know, 150 applications for the experienced testers to test all these local experiences, and you name it, they had like loads of good stuff. You can find this from our platform as well. One other Iittala art exhibition, when all the museums were closed, basically unable to serve any customers. We had Iittala naivists, for example, hosting private visits to their facilities over there, and thus were able to serve hundreds and hundreds of people and have private tours and make some money when there was not that many, or not that much money around when times were difficult. All right, so you can find more information from doers.com/local. We are very happy to host and run demos to you, tell you more about the solution. Works in I think 26 European countries these days, and we host all the payments as service. So it's very easy for all the three people to use. So I could post the link to the chat, so you can go and find out. And if some of you is now experienced provider and trying to understand how to do that, I can also post a link to our Become Doer site. But that's also, just go and start creating the experience online, and 15 minutes you're done and you can start selling your experience. So that's honestly how easy it is. Thanks for your time and pleasure being here. Unfortunately, I have to drop out since I have some workshops happening today in Joensuu.
Excellent. Thank you, Tommy, for being able to make it and presenting Doers. And I think that's kind of like the point of Doers, that basically any one of us here could start selling experiences, could start selling, whatever we are interested in providing and giving people on your service, right?
Exactly.
So if our students, for example, are thinking of extra income sources, this could be one possibility. Showing people around Joensuu or whatever, you can take people disc golfing or hiking or whatever. So I think there's plenty of possibilities here. Any questions for Tommy? Tommy will paste more information to the chat. You can find the Doers websites and become a doer. That's excellent. One last question before you go.
Yes.
Doers has been launching these virtual experiences during the COVID. How do you see the trend? What happens when travel bounces back? Is there any room for virtual experiences? Are they here to stay, or will they just slowly fade away? What do you think?
Unclear to me, but if I would have to guess, I would say it kind of accelerated the trend. So it was already kind of slowly, weekly coming before the pandemic as well. Now I would say we've seen some acceleration there, so it's gonna be bigger. But as a you know, I would say now we get back to the physical world, starting to actually travel, but it's not going anywhere. I would say it just became 2 or 3 years closer than what it was earlier. So it's becoming viable business. I'm thinking we might make some money with that and our experience providers, but when it's really exploding, that's going to take maybe a couple of years. But yeah, that's my 5 cents about that.
Thank you. It's a topic of interest for many of us here, for sure. So thank you, Tommy, for joining us, and enjoy Joensuu.
Thanks, I will. Have a great day.
You too. Next, we have Tia Itkonen from Tridea, providing us a presentation on BizLens, which is a relatively new, let's say, software, but a really interesting one that I think many businesses could find quite useful in their everyday operations. So Tia, please, can you tell us a little bit more about BizLens?
Yeah, thanks, Juho. You already introduced me, but yes, I'm Tia Itkonen, and I work here in Tridea as BizLens specialist. So I do our marketing and social media, a little bit of sales, and training with our customers. And Diego and Tommy were presenting so pretty and informative slide sets. So I get a little jealous because I don't have any slide sets today. Instead, I'm going to show you the real dashboard of the BizLens. So I start to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about today. BizLens is the data management software we build here at Tridea. Its purpose is to help businesses and online stores improve their customer experience by bringing all the data they need into this one dashboard and in one view. We also want to help businesses that don't have too many technical understanding, so they can get the important data they need, so it's easier to them also develop their business nowadays when everything is moving toward internet and online stores. A short story where BizLens came from. Our founder Marco was working on online stores, and he spent tons of times going through different social media platforms, digital marketing channels, and website analytics. And while he gets through all these channels, he writes everything, performance metrics and results down to Excel. It took a lot of time, but it was also very painful to go through so many platforms and channels. So Marco was thinking, isn't there any easier way to do that? He didn't find any solution. So then we started to make our own one. So BizLens started here from that idea to get all the main performance metrics to one single platform. Well, today we are here today to talk about travel industry, and how BizLens can help travel industry is, for example, to get to know where and how you reach your domestic and international tourists, and understanding the customer paths, customer behavior, and experience within the digital ecosystem of tourism. So this is the main view here in BizLens. We have dozens of summaries about different themes. There are our two main summaries, which are these executive summary and customer journey. And then we have different summaries from marketing and customer experience, And if you want to delve into the details from channel-specific summaries, we have the views for different channels also. Well, this one is this executive summary. Here you can find the most important key performance indicators. We have themed this summary also, so it's easier to get main points from sales, website, marketing, and customer experience. That helps our customers to understand their business from different perspectives. And I can show you a little bit of all these little tabs here. So here at sales, you can find how many sales did you do a selected time period, what was the top sold products, and how many orders did you get, and so on. And on the website, you can see the view, how many users did you get on your websites, what did it cost to get those to your website or spend a minute on page. On marketing, there's social media and also digital marketing. So you can see the brand reach is like which channels did you get impressions, where was your business seen through the internet. And on the customer experience, there's also different summaries about business service and Google My Business feedbacks, for example. Our other main view is the customer journey, and this is actually my personal favorite of businesses summaries. Here you can get the view how much your business was seen through internet, from digital marketing channels and social media, and you can also dig deeper. So you can see all the Facebook campaigns you were having on that time period. You can see how many impressions did they get, what was the campaign that get more clicks. For example, if you want to know more about the impressions you get from Facebook, for example. From the brand reach, we can jump to engagement. So you can see how well did you engage your customers in your social media. Did you get likes? Was it interactive to comment with your customers and your followers? And here you can also dig deeper to get to see what was the most liked post, for example. Well, now we have seen how the business was seen on social media and marketing channels. And of course, we want to know how much that led people to come to our website and buy our product. So here we can see the main website views, what was the top viewed pages, how was the bounce rate from the website, and then from e-commerce. Well, we have this demo data, so there's nothing in here, but you will get the average order value, how many purchases there were on your online stores, and top selling products also from there. So these are like the main summaries we have here in business. And then when I was talking about these different teams, I'm not gonna show you everything because like 20 minutes is a very short time, but I'm gonna go a little deeper here. So on marketing, we have different, I clicked from the customer experience. Well, here in marketing, we have kind of different views to get the whole pictures of marketing actions and the results you do on your digital channels. And here I'm gonna also show one of my personal favorites, that is this online campaign timeline. Here you can easily go through timeline and see which campaigns was going on, what was the digital campaigns we had, You can also click here to see the main results of this campaign. How much impressions did it get? What was the cost? And click-through rate, for example. And of course, you can go through all the ad sets that were under these campaigns. So this is a good way to get the whole pictures for like what we did like last year on our digital marketing campaigns. So it's easy to see they're all campaigns in that one timeline. And we get here like LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Twitter. And then if you have your own campaigns that we don't get data from, you can also add it here. There's like this at events. So if you have radio campaigns or something like that, and you want to add it here, so you can see the whole picture of all the marketing you are doing, it's easy to add your own custom events here to this same timeline. Well, because BizLens is also a customer experience platform, there are different kind of ways we gather feedback from our business. We collect data straight from Google My Business, for example, but in addition to that, our customers can use different kind of surveys to hear the voice of the customers. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of our survey management. So we have a few templates that you can get feedback from your website, online store, or customer service. And our customers can also create their own surveys from scratch. And this is the good way to get your customers' experience and see what your customers really are thinking from your, for example, your website. So these earlier shown summaries gather data from different channels, and business also provides these channel-specific summaries. And these summaries help our customers to dig deeper with their data. We have there, for example, Facebook summary, where you can see all this overview from your Facebook page. How many likes did you like profile likes is there? What was the impressions over the time? How did your customer engage your posts? For example, here you can see the posts and only the Facebook campaigns, and how did the campaigns, what was the audience the campaign was shown. So this is a good way to see from where people actually saw your Facebook campaigns for. We have also like different online stores and reservation system as Bokun and Johku and Winras, for example. And then this website summary is also one of our used summary here under this platform. So as you see, business is really big and there's a lot of things you get only from signing into this one dashboard. We have dozens of data sources integrated, and we are doing new integrations every day. And sometimes, of course, our customers would like to have data we don't get easily from the channels or social media. We also provide our custom data, so our customers and clients can feed their own data into business, and it stays here. And you can also come to see, for example, our DMOs have different kind of meetings they are feeding into business also. Well, that was very quick see-through about business, and I want to thank you all. And if you are interested to read more, I can link to chat our website so you can see more there and maybe get to connect me in LinkedIn, and I can put that also to the chat if you have any questions after this webinar.
That's great. Thank you, Tia. And yes, please put your contact information to the chat. I already added your website for people to browse, but of course it would be great to have your contact information as
thanks.
well. Minna wants to ask, how big team do you have and what is your background? How did you build this platform?
Well, we have a quite small team here at Ridea, and nowadays we have, well, Marco is our founder, and in our develop team we have four people, and in our sales team we have two people. So it's a bit of a small company, but let's hope that we're gonna get a little bit bigger.
Great. Lena wants to ask, what kind of reports can you get out from the platform to present the results to others? So you can print the reports, or do you always have to show this kind of a dashboard mode?
Well, you can show it, or then you can get the PDFs out of there. So, and some of our customers have also wanted to, like, we are doing their own reporting system under the business. So we hope that you can get to do your own reports in business, and then get these out. And so, yeah, you can see the results from PDFs or from the business.
That's great. Yeah, apparently it's a software designed for people responsible for marketing, especially, right? But it provides information also for board members and everybody else who should be aware what is going on in the marketing field. Does it also explain, like, have these cause and effect connections? Are they already built in the platform, that you can see that your sales have been increased, which channels have contributed directly to those increases in sales, or does it have any that kind of functionality?
If I understood right, not yet.
I would probably mean attribution modeling.
Not yet, but let's hope we can get to develop business to get also those ones into our system.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Tia, and please do add your information to the chat for people to connect with you.
Thank you.
Excellent. We are going to continue with today's program. We have a fourth presentation from Salmi platform, and it's of course one of my favorite businesses, as I'm the board member in the organization, and just astonished with all the innovations that the guys at Salmi are doing basically every day. So Saku, please, the virtual floor is all yours after I give you the co-host rights. All right, now it should work. We cannot hear you, sorry. Maybe you have to choose the right device in Zoom.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. First of all, good morning to everybody. Juho, I have one big problem.
Okay.
You sent me message through WhatsApp, and you asked me that can I give a short presentation to students this day. I said to you yes, but I read your email like 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Where you told that I would have to keep it in English, so I'm not prepared to keep it in English. So
I think you'll do just fine. If the presentation is in Finnish, can you simultaneously translate it to English? I think that will work.
15 minutes, and I think the vocabulary in analytics side, it's really challenging for me. I can try it, but it's really hard. I can tell.
All right, we can try it together.
Yeah. So now I'm like in the deep end of the pool. So
well, sometimes this happens.
Yeah.
No worries.
So
I think we'll manage.
Yeah. So I share the screen from there. I think share sound. Okay. So can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, shortly, Salmi platform, we are startup. We are operating here in Kuopio. We have 3 co-founders that are doing daily basis work, and we have 2 new workers working with us. Last year was our first year that we started operating in the market, and this year is our second year that we have operated in market. We are focusing on travel industry, and we have 3 different products. And today I'm telling you about our analytics sites and also our augmented reality platform. So focus is there today. And this one is really hard to make it in English, so you can help me, Juho.
Yeah.
Basically, if I use Kuopio area as an example, we have here hotels, restaurants, museums, and a lot of different kind of travel companies. Usually they have some kind of CRM or data from their customers, but when we think all the area together, we don't have so much data about the travelers. And now you can help me out, Juho. Matkailussa pidetään aina aika ajoin näitä matkailutulotutkimuksia ja eri yksittäisiä tutkimuksia, missä tutkitaan eri asioita. Niin
Yeah, basically in the good old days, the tourism studies were done using surveys. So we were interested in asking people how much they consume and what, like, the income from tourism was measured using these surveys. And typically the surveys were collected like a couple of times a year in the borders, and the results were not that, let's say, accurate. And also they were not happening in real time. So real-time data on tourism consumption was really difficult to get. Yeah.
So that's the point where we are focusing on to get real-time data, and the data is much more wider and bigger altogether when you compare the old ways to do this. So we are basically focusing on collecting data that how much travelers use money here, for example, here in Kuopio area, the overstays and become päiväkävijä, day trips.
Day trips.
Yeah. And also we collect the data about motive. For example, when you go staying overnight some hotel, you only describe that is it free time or work-based traveling. So we are collecting motive like 20 different choices, and so we can get more accurate data from there. Of course, the NPS and satisfaction are good estimations to collect all the time, and also free word when we collect feedback from travelers, it's like gold mine. We have really good examples about getting a lot of data about free feedback from the travelers. And also the basic information about travelers' demographic information is really good data to have. And we have some options about travelers' matkailijan hiilijalanjälki. How do you say it in English?
Carbon footprint of tourists.
Yeah, that's really interesting that's our new concept, and we are working on that all together.
Yeah, Salmi Analytics is pretty much based on these mobile devices that all of us are carrying, and we are able to reach the people during their trip using these devices, and they are able to participate and contribute information to the Salmi database, and from there it's possible to report what is going on with the tourists in basically real time as they fill in these surveys.
Yeah, and there's here is how does this all work. So we have events and we have travel companies, and events have the travelers coming to event, and then we have companies like hotels, restaurants, museums, and they have their own customers. So we build for every event and every travel company their unique online survey, and they spread the survey to their customers, and they get the data from their own customers, their own online BI view. And when we have enough, for example, here in Kuopio, enough these companies and events who spread the survey, we get a lot of answers. I think we have collected in short time 15,000 answers from this area. And when you compare it the old way, how we usually make these surveys, this data mass is really massive. And the beauty of the thing is that when we collect the data through different companies, we can summarize this data for local DMO to local town, city, and what is Lakeland Hanke? It's elinkeinoyhtiö from Savokro.
Yeah, it's a current tourism destination development project.
Yeah,
they're organized by the public government.
Yeah, so we can organize the data to these organizations who will pay the bill for us, and they can give this free tool to areas, travel companies to use to collect the data and so on. Yeah, so we can combine Telia operator data where we can have statistic about travelers day trips and overstay trips, and of course we can get the overstay from what is majoitustilasto,
accommodation statistics.
Yeah, but it's not at all accurate. When you think at the Kuopio area and Tahko area, we have a lot of cottage accommodation that doesn't show in that statistics. So we can get more accurate data from Telia, where we can combine our survey data, and there we can get the whole picture about travelers' movement on the area. And here are some example views from our BI view, and here is, for example, about tourism income in certain timeline. So there we can build a lot of different kind of analytics views for our customer, and this view is for Kuopio and local DMO and this Lakeland 2 organization. So, for example, it tells how many tourists are coming in certain days, and we can combine the money spent data also here, so we can get really accurate data like weekly, monthly, year basis. And where we can use this data is like local DMO and Kuopio City and Lakeland 2 organization. They want to tell to media that how our traveling business is going on. How good is the traveling business, for example, in the summertime? So now we can get real good data, what is based on real facts that they can tell to media that, okay, this was the situation on the summertime.
Yeah, the key thing is that just like the number of overnights is somehow outdated measurement of success for tourism destinations. And now we are starting to talk much more about the quality of the tourists, that we need to be able to manage the destination from the quality perspective, that we get maybe not growth in tourism numbers and overnights, but that doesn't mean that we don't have growth in the economic contribution of tourism. And with this kind of data, this economic contribution is much more easier to understand. And when we understand the economic contribution of tourism, then it's easier for public bodies, governments, businesses to invest in tourism development, and invest in tourism marketing when we get the data to show that it actually pays off.
Yeah. One really good example is that here in Kuopio, the city is planning to make a new event venue, and they are not budgeting, in my opinion, enough for that event venue. So in future, when it's ready, we can't have there like really big, for example, volleyball tournaments, because it's just a little bit too small. So if we would have facts and data about that, how much this kind of big international volleyball tournament would bring tourism income to the town, it would be really nice to peilata tähän faktaan.
Justify.
Yeah, that okay, if we build it a little bit bigger, and it's possible to make bigger events here. So how many big events we have to make on the area that it would pay it back, this little bit bigger hall? One good example about how to use the data also. So the data, of course, can be used on marketing and targeting the real market. So we can basically get the data from that, where the people are coming, what kind of people are coming, what are their motives to come to this area. And next year we are targeting to collect the data from Kuopio area, that we are targeting to get 30,000 answers from the travelers who are coming to Kuopio. And it's really interesting to dig in the data after that. For example, that we think that what is the biggest motive to come here in Kuopio, and what kind of, for example, if it's hiking is the biggest motive, what kind of people, what age or gender are coming to hiking to Kuopio, and where they are coming. Okay, there is a black hole in the west coast that there don't come a lot of people, so maybe we could focus the marketing on there. So really big data gives really big opportunities. And of course, travel companies, where the customers get their information about, and this is, for example, view from local event view. And of course, the satisfaction and feedback from the customer is really gold mine, like I said it. And of course, there are really good standards, NPS and satisfaction, that we can measure through time, different weeks and different seasons, like summertime or Christmas time. So it's really good measurement about how is your business and how your customers are happy. And like I said, that the gold mine is really the open feedback about customers. And we have really good examples, a lot of different companies or events, that how have they used this feedback to make their own business better. So how much do I have time?
We have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So maybe we can look at the AR as well.
Yeah. So few minutes for AR. So totally different concept. We have augmented reality platform, and we have our own Salmi AR app, and it's free on Android and iOS platforms. And in the app, we have our customers this kind of digital tours and experiences. We have our customers like museums, restaurants, hotels, and so on. We have built there our customers this kind of digital tour experiments, and we use a lot of augmented reality in these experiences. And the content here on our app is purely travel sector, so it's only travel content and content for travelers. And we focus on the content. First, we always think with our customers the content first, and then there is only the technology is that what it makes possible to make it more lively, and we can use gamification on our experiments. Sorry. So we have this different kind of products here in our AR platform. We have this kind of guided AR tours. You can compare that if you go to the city and you have mikä on ohjelma opaspalvelu.
A guide service.
Yeah, you can think this that you have your own guide service in your mobile. So you can go through the mobile map from place A to B, and you can see from your app and using augmented reality different kind of contents on the, is it on city or nature or on for example museum. And we use only and we use all together that it's location based content, so the traveler really have to go on site and move on the certain places that they can look and hear the content. Yeah, I can show you few examples that we have made. Maybe it's the best way to demonstrate.
Right.
Demonstrate the thing. So here is for one example from museum. It's here in Kuopio Riisa Museum, and there are some mikä on ikoni englanniksi?
Icons.
Yeah, there are some icons on the wall throughout the museum, and customer wanted to make for families this kind of gamificate tour. Yeah, so basically the childs have to find the icons where is animals, and when they find this icon and there is animal, they have to scan with our app, Salmi AR app, this icon, and after that it brings the content alive and so on. So maybe this one tells you more.
We are still seeing the PowerPoint presentation.
Oh.
You probably have to share a different window.
No.
Okay. No, nothing now. Still the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, hold on. Can you see the screen now? Or
we see the Google Docs presentation.
Where I can change this?
You have to open the video and then share screen and select the right window.
Now the video is open.
Then share screen and choose the video window.
Yeah.
Now it's showing. Okay, now it works. Great.
Yeah. So here is the example that now I use our Salmi AR app and I'm scanning the icon, and there is horse and a dragon. So we make using augmented reality illusion that this icon comes to life. So as a user, I have to find all the icons where there is different kind of animals, and I get the points for finding different kind of icons. So
yeah.
Sorry, my bad presentation about in English. Hope that you got something. So I think that our time is used. So
yes. So do you have time to stay in chat for a few minutes if people have questions on the chat? And please add your information to the chat, how people can connect with you. How about the services? Are they available just in Finland, or any possibilities of having this abroad?
Right now we are focusing on Finland, but we are targeting all together to abroad also. So we have really interesting connections to, for example, Sweden, Norway, and so. But now focus is on Finland
first. All right, great. So maybe you can answer Marcus's question on the chat, and while we move on with the program. Thank you, Saku. That was great.
I'm sorry.
Great improvisation. Well done. Really glad to have you on board. Moving on, we have Sami, right? Yes, Sami, you are online. I'll make you co-host. Perfect. Great to have you here as well. And Jouko is another one of my favorite tourism technology companies doing really interesting stuff on digital sales channels. So looking forward for your presentation. So Sami, please go ahead. We cannot hear you. Maybe now. No. You might have to choose the right microphone in the Zoom window. Can you hear us? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. There's so many mute buttons that you have to press the right ones.
Actually, it's not about the mute button itself. I'm using all these different conferencing software at the same time, from Google Meet to Teams and to Zoom and everything else. And sometimes the microphone that I'm using is not getting along with the idea of using different software. But anyway.
Now it works. Perfect.
Yeah. Everything is okay now.
So please go ahead.
Yeah. well, good morning to everybody. It's nice to be here. Nice to give you a short presentation of Johku and tell a bit the things we are doing at the moment. I will share my window. I have these 4K monitors, so I will just share the window itself. That one. I hope you can see it now.
Yes. Yep.
And unfortunately, the Google Slides doesn't understand the full screen mode inside the browser, so you will see this.
Yeah.
But I hope you will manage.
Yes, it's really good.
A short presentation about Johku and what we are doing at the moment. My name is Sami Hänninen, and I'm the CEO as well as the product owner of Johku Technology, and I'm also the main concept planner where the Johku will go in the future and what we are doing and what will be the big picture at the end. Johku itself, we are, from our perspective and what we are trying to do, the history behind Johku is actually begins in 2015 when we began cooperating together in quite a big European-wide this kind of a project led by VTT, and the other big partners were Bittium and F-Secure, and about 10 to 20 different other partners, research partners, and we were one of the research partners in that project. And the main goal of the project was to research the process from idea to the release in the market, and how the whole workflow goes when the entrepreneur has an idea in his head or her head. Our main focus was in the actual software and actual process, what happens when you start the e-commerce process, and as well as in the online world, but as well as in the brick and mortar stores. And we were examining that and trying to figure out what are the key how you say this kind of inhibitors in the market or the process altogether. But from that big research program, we found out and coined the idea of Johku, and in 2016 we started developing Johku technology itself. Behind our background is actually from marketing technology as well as e-commerce technology. We have been working in the really big projects with big companies as well as the small ones, small entrepreneurs, about 22 years already. So we have a background in this, and Johku was a new novel idea that we started to grow in a separate company. So Johku is actually a spin-off from our old mother company itself. But anyway, nowadays Johku is quite a big ecosystem, and what we do actually in Johku, we are an e-commerce system, but we combine everything. Well, e-commerce, typically we understand it as a sales and sales processes, etc. in the online world. But what we do, we take the whole online world and we implement it in the online as well as the big brick and mortar, and we don't comprehend when we are talking about sales, we don't comprehend the world as this kind of a online and brick and mortar, the physical process. We combine these all together, and we don't make any separation between these. So from Johku's point of view, what we do, we handle the process from the first contact to the sales and the management after sales, and put them into one process, and we do it in the online world as well as in the brick and mortar, the physical world, at the same time. And we have all technology for this. But the main one of the biggest ideas in Johku is that here's it. Well, the slides are in Finnish, but what we are doing here, you can see the customer decision process or consumer decision process as the McKinsey. I think it was in 2007 released the idea of consumer decision journey, and we have been developing Johku around that idea. We have also been refining the processes, etc. But the main idea is that we want to combine entrepreneurs and the products directly to the sales channels and make all sales channels available from one system. Another thing that was one of the biggest ideas in the Johku development process was that what we wanted to, well, when we researched the idea of the process from idea to the market, we found out that most of the entrepreneurs it was quite easy to build up the idea, build up the product itself. But after that, the difficulties came into picture because when you have a product and you want to start implementing or testing it in a test market, you typically have to start building up systems, and probably if you have a business that you have several different product types, like time-based products and the typical well, socks and t-shirts and etc. You typically need several different systems, because in that world, when we started with Johku, it was really typical that you had, for example, hotel reservation systems, and then you have activities reservation system, and then if you were selling at the same time, for example, maps, you needed an e-commerce system that you build up the inventory and sold the maps, etc. So, but what we found out in the research was that when you have the idea and you have a product, you typically need several different systems that you can start planning the sales, but you still didn't have any sales channels. And if you did, it typically, if you were in accommodation, you typically started out from, okay, I will put my cottage into booking.com or Airbnb, but it was just one sales channel. And the ugly truth in these sales channels are that they are OTAs. They own you. You are not yourself. They own you. You are just you could say, like a farmer in Finland. You are just a farmer, and all the layers above are above you, and they tell what to do with the pricing and so on. And the OTAs do the same thing. But what we wanted to build in Johku, and we have succeeded with it, is that every single of these entrepreneurs have their own web sales, own point of sale on the brick and mortar, and they have several different sales channels in their use already, but especially their own web shop or their own reception. And we wanted to take those point of sales and make them available to other merchants. So in Johku ecosystem, what we are doing, the main idea is that every single Johku merchant is a potential sales channel to other merchants. And the main idea here is that we don't generate any hierarchies between the merchants, because the typical sales, what we found out especially in travel, was that you build up your idea, your product, and then you started trying to find out these OTAs or other agencies that we started selling your products. And you were just, and you build up these hierarchies. And if you wanted to start together with other merchants, you started planning, and then you went contracted. Okay, you will sell my products and I will sell your products, but you needed a contract with me, and that all the money flows went through these resellers, you know. And from that perspective, it builds up the hierarchy. But what we did, we took everything in between away, and the end user buys directly from the merchants, still, even when they are in this ecosystem. So what I mean with that every single Johku merchant is a potential sales channel to other merchants. concretely, it means that every single merchant can share their own web shop, their own brick and mortars point of sale to other merchants, so that they can put their own products to those web shops. And when the end user buys the product, the money goes directly to the merchant whose product it was. And also in this web shop, there can be hundreds of other products from different merchants, and Yohku combines them together with the payment processor into one transaction. And when the transaction happens and the end user pays it, the money flows directly to the merchants whose products they were. So that's the main idea of Yohku. So what we do, we take away the hierarchy. So every single merchant is in the same level when you think about the whole the actual process over there. But from the end user's point of view, he or she can pick several different products into one basket and pay it with one transaction. Nowadays, we are really fast growing technology in Finland, and we are focusing on Finland at the moment. We are actually, at the moment, we have already about 1,700 Yohku merchant registers Yohku merchant in Finland. In this slide, you can even see the stats about Yohku itself, and also the map in Finland. Every single dot in that map is a potential sales channel. Every single spot is where you can sell your product if you are a Yohku merchant. And you can start immediately cooperation, working together with that merchant. The big picture with me and what I'm planning, and the vision that I'm seeing, is that in the future, when we are in a way, we are in a good speed coming out of this COVID-19 world, and the next step is that as Finnish entrepreneurs, Finnish travel entrepreneurs, we combine our strengths, we combine our products, and make them available wherever you look at in Finland. You can find out those products. And when people are searching from the States, from Great Britain, from Europe, from Asia, and they are searching for Finland, we want to visit and see the auroras, and we want to go and have a look at Lapland, and they search it, because they search it. First they search it, they look for the information, because the McKinsey actually researched this, they search. After that, they make decisions. So what we want to do is that combine everything in Finland and make Finnish entrepreneurs working together, combining really innovative, this kind of a bigger selections of great, really authentic travel products, and sell it in the whole ecosystem, not just one sales channel, everywhere. So if you want to start, for example, yesterday yesterday evening I came from the airport. I was visiting in Lapland, one of the really nice places in Pyhätunturi, and they started implementing Yohku everywhere in their operations, on the websites, on the restaurant, on everything. And they will implement Yohku in the accommodation, in the activities, in the safaris, in the rental gear, in the service in the restaurant. But the main thing there was that they want to put everything available on the website. So as an end user, you can select accommodation. Immediately you can select the jacuzzi, and then you plan your dinner, and then you plan your activities, take your rental gear, and plan your whole vacation in that location. And you can pay it all together in advance already, and you have everything already done. But of course, if you want to just reserve the accommodation, you do it, and then you buy everything on site. And they want to also start providing, they have several entrepreneurs, they are cooperating with several other entrepreneurs. They want to start selling their products as well in their reception. So if you have a Husky Safari and it is a Johku merchant, and you have a family coming from Germany, and they come to the reception and ask, okay, we would like to do something nice. And the owner said, okay, we have our own safaris. Do they sound good? And then we have these other merchants, other entrepreneurs, their products here, and you can buy them directly. I have a real-time availability from there. And if you buy it, it goes directly to that local entrepreneur, you know. So should we do it? I can do it right away. No. So the idea here is the sales process. Never let the customer go. If they indicate that they are interested, make the sales, close the deal. Don't say, oh, we have the kiosk over there, go there, or we have on the website, we have this. No, that's the biggest mistake you can do on sales. Let the customer go. If the customer says, I'm interested, make the sale. Then you get the success. And that is what we are also concentrating on in Johku. We want to make the sale.
Great.
From Johku's point of view,
one more minute to go.
From Johku's point of view, we have lots of entrepreneurs all over Finland. We have really strong position in Helsinki, but as well as we are also growing in Lapland. And the main idea is that from our pricing point of view, we don't have any base pricing or any start pricing. We don't have any monthly payments. We only have the commission. When we succeed together with the entrepreneur, then we get our cut from that. And that's the main idea of Johku. But that's also every single merchant can start cooperating with other merchants. And when the success happens, then we all win. That's the main idea also with Johku.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sami. It's indeed something different, I would say, in the e-commerce world, and just the line of thinking regarding this sales is what separates Johku from many other companies offering e-commerce services. Is Johku available anywhere else in the world besides Finland at this moment?
Yes, Johku is available globally. Johku is written in English, so it's a global system by design. We have payment processors that are available globally, Stripe, and you can start using Johku everywhere where you are speaking English or Italian or Swedish. So if you are located where English-speaking world, then it's really easy to start using Johku, and every single feature is available. The only thing that is different is that Stripe doesn't support these cross sales between merchants, this dynamic cross sales, because it needs the support from the payment processor. So if you are using Stripe and start cooperating with other merchants, the shopping basket process is separate. So Johku makes the customer pay first the first merchant product and then the other one. So it is in a way it is a flow. It not at the same time. So you can't make one transaction for the whole basket. And the other one is that if you are taking commissions from your web shop, if other products are sold in your web shop, then the commission process is not automated. If you are using and you are a Finnish entrepreneur and you are using Visma Pay, then everything is automated and every single product can be in one basket.
Great, thank you for that. If you guys have any questions for Sami, please use the chat. Sami will be here for a few minutes more at least, right?
Yes, I'll be here a few minutes. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Moving on, next we have Outdoor Active. So Martin, great that you could make it. Outdoor Active is becoming a huge platform in nature tourism activities, and really looking forward for your presentation.
Thank you, Juho. I hope you can see the screen share.
Yep, just start the PowerPoint presentation and it should be
great.
Fine. Perfect.
Okay, I'm just gonna check. Great. So thank you for inviting us and the opportunity to present Outdoor Active. And since I assume not all of you know Outdoor Active, I thought we'll save some time and I'll play a video. I hope that the sound is gonna work. Gonna check. Juho, do you have sound?
No, we cannot hear anything.
Not hear. Okay.
That's actually something we've encountered with embedded YouTube videos as well.
Okay,
in
no,
Zoom.
So no worries. So I'll explain it a little bit. So the video basically shows some of the technologies that we use, some of the products that we provide, and some of the activities that we're involved in. Here you can see how a track is planned on the desktop. And there's a travel guide that we have on the platform that can inspire people to find locations, destinations that they want to visit. And in the destinations, there are a lot of different points of interest that we digitize, and we can only do this by working together with a lot of different partners. And Outdoor Active is a whole big ecosystem where many different partners contribute content or contribute services, and we provide different technologies that destinations and users can get the most out of outdoor activities. Some of the examples you see now are about trail management. So different hiking or cycling trails that exist. And on this map, you can see one of the hiking trails, and then there's different information to it. For example, the weather, that's very relevant for outdoor activities. And here you can see how we put nature into a 3D landscape. And we've grown out of Germany, but now we are basically looking at providing information about outdoor activities all around the world. And there's many different activities that we support. So whether it's hiking, cycling, running, climbing, there's so many different outdoor activities and so many different people that like outdoor activities, and we try and provide solutions for all of them, basically. So it was too bad that you didn't have the sound, but I hope you got the idea. It's just to get a brief overview if you've never heard of Outdoor Active about what we're involved in. So Outdoor Active is based in Germany, our headquarters. We're about 150 people. And most of the people working at Outdoor Active share a huge passion for the outdoors. So we're all cyclists, hikers, climbers, and I've done this experiment like from the University of Finland using our technology to get to our headquarters is about a 3,300 kilometer bicycle ride. So this is one of the technologies we provide, a tour planner, trip planner. You can plan a cycling trip, but it would take you some time. So you don't have to travel that far. We have a country representative in Finland. It's Pirjo. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it today. But Pirjo and with her company Elare, she's representing Outdoor Active in Finland, and she's done great work to introduce Outdoor Active to many different organizations already. So if you're based in Finland and you want to find out more and work together with us, then I would highly recommend to get in touch with Pirju, and she'll be able to get you set up. Now, our vision or visions, because we kind of have two, and this is also what makes us a bit special, I guess, is for one thing, we want to be there for all the outdoor enthusiasts. I'm an outdoor enthusiast myself. I've never been to Finland. I'm very much looking forward to get there at some stage. And then I want to find out what is it that I can do outdoors there. I like hiking, I like biking, and I would really like to find out where are all the hiking tracks, the cycle routes, and so on. And for people like myself and many others who look very much forward to the weekend when the weather is nice, to do some outdoor activities, we want to be the digital home. We want to support them all around. And for tourism destinations, for example, we want to be there and support them to develop and to create the digital twin of their destination. And this is kind of bringing together the B2B business and the B2C business, but I'll come back to that later. So our mission, and that's the core, is to build this largest outdoor platform to connect all the stakeholders that exist, and to basically bring together the demand and the supply side. This illustration shows that on the left side, working with B2B customers, most of these B2B customers have been tourism destinations in the past, and they use our technology to create points of interest, to digitize hiking tours, cycling routes, and so on. And then we gather all these data from the different organizations, and under the brand of outdooractive.com and on our platform, we provide this information to users. So anyone can go to outdooractive.com and search for routes all around the world. And this is how there's a lot of benefits for both sides. Underneath, and this is how we try and structure the digital twin. There are a lot of different data that we deal with. At the bottom, I guess, there's the maps, because most of the content in our platform is geo-referenced. So we try and put coordinates to all the data that we have in the platform. And then we have different track networks, so you can do the routing on hiking tracks or on cycling routes. We provide weather information, points of interest, of course, the tour suggestions, so specific loop trails, for example, with photographs and things like that, but also the feedback from the community, so ratings or reviews that come from users and that help other users to decide where to go and what to do. And the following slides will sum up how the core value creation happens in our platform, because we basically want to bring together users and experiences. And we do this by trying to understand the user as good as possible. So some of them leave profile information, but we also learn about them in a way that how do they use the platform, what are they interested in. And on the other hand, we have these data streams from all the different tourism regions. And so we try and find a good match based on context parameters. For example, what's the weather like on the weekend? Are there going to be holiday times? What season of the year is it? And based on these context parameters, we can create recommendations and provide specific suggestions to specific users. And in order to do that, it's very important to create trust on the side of the users, because otherwise they won't tell you what they're interested in. And we have to, of course, provide added values for the tourism destinations so that they update their information and that information can find the users, or the users can search for and find the information from the tourism destinations. We've already got about 12 million registered users, and these users have all sorts of different backgrounds and interests, and these are the ones that we want to inform about the different options that exist all around the world, like what are good regions to do specific activities. Here you can see some of the products just to get an idea what it looks like. On the left side, there's a destination management system screenshot, for example, or outdoor active business system at the top, or part of a website where we would visualize hiking trails on a tourism destination website, for example. And on the right side, you can see some of the wearable technologies that exist that we support, and the desktop or website where users do the planning upfront, sometimes at home. And then when they outdoors, they often, of course, use smartphones or wearables. For the end users, we basically want to support them throughout the whole customer journey. So initially they get some inspiration on our platform, then they plan their trips, they find other people, they can find accommodation. When they on the go, they use our technology to get support navigating on a tour, for example, but also location-based services. So what interesting sites are around, for example. They can also record their activities. Many users record their tracks, they take photos along these tracks, and then they share their experiences in the end. And those experiences shared on the social media, they kind of start another loop in the customer journey, because those are inspirations again for other users that say, oh, this looks great, and this has been rated with 5 stars. I'm really keen to do this. And this just starts another cycle for us. It's very complex, of course, destination management. There's a lot of different stakeholders, and we don't just want to support the users on the go. We also want to make sure that when they move around, that they do it in a sustainable way. For example, with regard to protected areas, we don't want them to go through protected areas that are where it's prohibited to go through. So we also have to talk to rangers and to national park organizations, for example, and also get them to work with us and to use our platform to provide information about what is allowed, what isn't allowed, what trails they have to offer, where are the facilities. And so there's a lot more to it than just providing products and applications for end users. It's also a lot in the background to manage the data streams and to also manage the stakeholders. And the way we think about it is like it's got to be a 360 destination management. So you have to think basically about everything that goes on in the destination. And the following illustration shows that quite nicely. So initially, of course, first thing is to kind of create this digital twin to digitize the different information in the destination, the points of interest, the tours, the routes, and so on. Then distribute that data, distribute the processes, and so on, and then understand what's going on in your destination. And if you do all these things, then you can in the end manage a sustainable growth of your destination, just as much as you think is good for the destination, but you have to keep your information updated again. And then, this is where the cycle starts again. You can't just create the digital twin for once. You have to make sure it's updated, because sometimes hiking tracks get closed, or sometimes sites have changed their opening hours. So there's a continuous management of the destination. You continuously get feedback from ratings, things that people like, that people don't like, and it's about getting an overview, getting an operational overview of what's going on. And this is where we want to help and support the destinations. Now, because I was also asked to look a bit at the business model that's behind and how we actually create value, because it's not enough to just have this passion for the outdoors, which we all have, of course, and it's not enough to also have the experience to build these great technologies. In the end, you really need to figure out how can you generate revenue from that, because only if you do that, then you'll be able to grow this business in a sustainable way. So the sweet spot is exactly at the intersection of the passion, the expertise, and how to generate revenue from that. And the way we do that is by establishing we have established two freemium business models, one in the B2B area and one in the B2C market. So tourism destinations, for example, they license our technology. They have a software as a service fee and pay us an annual amount, small amount of money, usually, to be able to use our technologies to create the digital twin and to present the information on their website. And on the B2C side, users can register on for free on the Outdoor Active platform. They can use a lot of services for free, and some of the services on the platform and some of the content is only accessible if you have a membership. That membership costs an annual subscription fee. This is basically the core of the business model. This slide illustrates how we want to grow this. This is about attracting visitors. A lot of people find out about Outdoor Active through Google searches. They do a Google search for hiking in Finland or hiking in Germany, and then a result page may show up, and this is a page that leads them to Outdoor Active. And then they find out about the platform, they get interested, they register. Once they register, and that doesn't cost them any money yet, they look around, and if they like it, they want to use it more. And some of the services are then only accessible for a fee, and then they become subscribers. And when they like our added values, they usually become loyal users. This is an example of the conversion, where the conversion happens. On the left side, you see that the second entry has a premium label attached to it. So if a user clicks on that, or if a user selects one of the transparent boxes, the different map layers and the map layer panel on the right, then a little box pops up and tells you, you can use this, but you have to sign up for a membership. There's a free trial month that you can use to try it out. And then if you like it, it's becoming a subscription, an annual subscription. And here's another example. So there's a preview of the tour, but if you want to get the detailed map, for example, of this premium content, again, you have to register and to sign in. And what we do on the B2C side, we also transferred this idea to the B2B side, because in the past, we always charged tourism destinations when they wanted to use our platform. And now we also provide a free plan for tourism destinations. So any tourism destination and also tourism service providers, they can go to Outdoor Active Business. They can sign up for a free account, and that enables them to create some content and to already benefit from the platform. And then, of course, some of the services, if they want to use them, are only accessible for a fee, and then they can sign up for a subscription plan. And one of the examples about what are services where you need to subscribe to a subscription plan, what we're working on quite heavily at the moment is a new product called Outdoor Active Insights. And with this product, we want to utilize a lot of the data that's generated in our platform and provide destinations an overview about what's going on in terms of visitor flows, for example. So here's a map from this morning. I made a screenshot just before the event, and that shows where people requested maps, for example, or where people have added ratings or have uploaded images to our platform. And as you can see, most of our users are based in Central Europe and the UK at the moment. So Finland is still there's not much heat in Finland yet, as you can see on this map. This is what we want to change, because we believe that Outdoor Active provides great added values for everyone in the world. So we're looking at scaling and growing this internationally at the moment. And here's an example of the famous castle in southern Germany. It's not far from where I live, actually. And as you can see on the heat map, there's a heat. There was already a heat this morning, which shows that people are interested. The weather's great, so it would be a fantastic day at the castle today, and we can already see this in our maps because people, they bring up maps of that area, and this is what we can visualize there, that people are interested to go there. And if I would bring up this map now, I could see that that the heat is getting even bigger, and it's even hotter there because now is the time when you can actually visit the museum. The network of partners, again, most of the partners based in Central Europe at the moment, but we're growing also in Finland because we have some great colleagues there establishing contacts and getting customer relationships set up. And the more partners there are in the platform, the more everyone profits from the platform, because partners can share and exchange data and utilize all the data that's provided by other organizations as well. And there's a lot of win-win situations that get created out of this. We also provide a basis for other business models. So for example, some publishers that used to, for example, create and sell hiking books, they can utilize our platform to sell digital content as well. And there's a revenue sharing model, so they can also profit from the revenues that get generated through the sales that happen on our platform then. And this is just a final example of to point out one of the big advantages working together with us. For example, a tourism destination in Finland that may create some points of interest, may publish some hiking routes or some cycling tours or canoe trips around the lakes. All the information that they publish on the platform gets distributed in different channels, because we work with a lot of different organizations, and many of the organizations that we work with, they take data out of the platform. They use some of our products to visualize that, and they present that information. For example, alpine clubs use it a lot. Different outdoor industry organizations use a platform. And this is how you get much more than just the visitors that come to your website. And I hope this is going to work. Can you now see my web browser?
And no, not yet.
No. Okay, so I'm gonna
have to share a different screen.
Share. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, great. So this is a live example now. I can move the map, as you can see. This is on our website for an area in Finland. Here you can see trails on the left side, and if I open up one of these trail websites, this is what I get. I get a description about the trail. I can get some maps. I can see the photographs along the route here. I can get an elevation profile, and this is how how visitors plan trips and prepare themselves for outdoor activities, and they can take this with them on their mobile phones as well, of course. And now this tour here, as an example, was provided by Saimaa Geopark. I hope I pronounced this all right. And users can find this on our platform, but the park, Saimaa Geopark, they have an own website as well. And on their website, if you click on activities, then you can see that here some part of our technology is integrated into their website, and they present the hiking tours on their website as well. And I haven't actually prepared this, but if I go to a different platform, and this is a platform of the alpine clubs that the German, the Austrian, and the Alpine Club of South Tyrol. And if I go to their website, and that website is powered by our technology as well. I've got this in German, but you'll get the idea. then I can also find routes and tours in Finland as well. And if I search on this map, I will actually find these tours that were published by Saimaa Geopark. And this is how everyone benefits from each other on the platform. So I think I'm out of time, so I'll leave it with that. And if you do have any questions, then you're more than welcome to use the chat or get in touch afterwards or get in touch with our colleagues in Finland. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Martin, so much. Maybe you can add your information and Pirjo's information, the chat for people to connect if needed. And if you guys have any questions for Martin about Outdoor Active, a huge platform, especially in the Central Europe, and I would say also quite a lot of potential for Finland because of the reach of the platform, please use the chat and Martin will be here at least a little bit longer to answer any potential questions. But we have to move on, and we have the final presentation from Moder on sales channel. Let's see, there's Matti. So Moder is as well pretty new company in the field, but I think they've figured out something that many others have not, especially in the accommodation reservation side. So Matti, why don't you present Moder for us in little bit better details?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'll try to be short so we won't run out of time. Can you see my presentation at the moment?
Yes. You can just start the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes, there we go. Okay. So in short, Moder is a all-in-one tourism business platform. So it's aimed for tourism companies that run their business digitally or want to run it. So I will tell a short story about the company. The company was founded last year, and why was it founded? Was because we have our family company, Hawk Hill Cottage Resort. We have been running it for 3 generations, so we have some experience in the area. And we have accommodation, we have food, we have a forest restaurant, and activities. And running tourism business these days is pretty tricky. There's a lot to take into an account, and without a proper tool to run it digitally, you will use a lot of time just managing information and verifying stuff and sending verifications and making sure that you are present in all the sales channels and you don't have double bookings and stuff like that. So first I tried to find a tool to resolve this issue, and I couldn't find one. I went over 30 programs from Finland and abroad, and then I just decided that this hasn't been done properly, in my opinion. So could this be done with modern technology, combining easy to use mobile first design in the UX and UI side, and making a tool for the travel business companies. And so in a way, this has been done first to accommodate our own needs, but then expanded into making it for everyone else in the tourism industry. So here's a picture of the program itself and some key features. So it's a modern platform. It has been founded in cloud, of course, and it utilizes a modern PaaS technology. It's easy to use, so everything is designed mobile first. And after that, once we have figured out the mobile side, we will make a desktop version. It has a pretty good booking engine. We're aiming to be best in business, because I feel that travel companies need a website. It's their identity, it's their business card these days, and they need a proper booking engine there that really converts the traffic into sales. But that's sort of the first part. Then comes the whole operation side. So the booking engine and the channel management is needed, but it's a really small portion of the real operation that you need to do. And that's where the strong side of Moodle really is. So we have tried to create as intuitive and easy way to manage your whole business, from managing resources, seeing the whole week, what you need to do, when you need to do, managing your partners, activities, food, everything in one place. So as I have stated here, this Moodle is aiming to be the tool to run your travel business that can be accommodation, activities, food, and even destinations. So we are now running a big development roadmap on a feature that enables destinations to use Moodle also. So we want to be a platform that your travel company can use to run your whole business. That's what we're aiming to do, and make it easy and accessible to everyone, from dynamic pricing to guest application and messaging. So I wanted to show you some, because the 15 minutes is a short time, so I wanted to show just some key features on what we have. So on accommodation side, we have hotel clients that have over 300 beds. We have apartment rental companies that have over 100 apartments, and we have villas, companies that run only one villa. So we scale. You can run a hotel on Moodle, or you can run your villa if you want to brand it and have your own website and have proper guest messaging and management and sales channel management. This is the tool for you. We have good resourcing capabilities, so you can really see when you need to be and where you need to be, and you can delegate sort of tasks for your employees. We have a own view for partners. So if you are a cleaning company, you can if you have a cleaning company and you have outsourced it, you can just give them a password and credentials, and they can access your system and see only the cleaning information that's needed. And same for maintenance and tour operators. Then there's something that we are also developing: activities, rentals, and food services. So this is something that we're bringing during November. So we already have, you can run your rentals and sell activities, but we're bringing inventory to them, and we are bringing food and reservations to them, and sort of expanding it into a proper activity platform. The idea is that my vision for the future of tourism is that you don't have companies that only specify in accommodation. In many cases, you need to blend these. You need to have accommodation, you need to have activities, you need to have rentals, you need to have the whole tourism in one place. And that's the whole idea. So we don't specialize only in accommodation. We want to resolve the company's whole problem of how to operate their business. And I think I'll just show you quickly what Moodle looks like. So this is just a view from our search page. So it is unfortunately in Finnish. I can translate it quickly, but just a moment. If there are some questions already now, you can ask.
No questions yet.
Yeah, good. Okay, this is a demo environment that we're using. So I'll just go let's see, how was the summer or fall. So this is the basic view that you have when you log into Motor. You can review the reservations if you want, and you get all the essential information, what sort of services have been sold. You can add services, you can add bills, and you can mark them as paid and add payments to them. Adding your and managing your room types is made as easy as possible. So basically you can just register into Moodle and start using it yourself. You don't need to have any expensive boarding process if you don't want to. The idea is that the usability is so good that it would be self-explanatory. This is, well, for example, this is the resource management view. I will just change the date so we will see how. And from this this view, you can see the rentals, and you can also see the additional services being sold, and if you have additional markups for dates, and you will see the experiences have been sold and activities, sort of creating and well, basically this is sort of an ERP for your travel business in a way, if you want to say. So I kept it pretty brief, so if there are any questions, I can answer you them now, or I will help you keeping a schedule.
Thank you. Well, I think we managed to do great stuff on keeping the schedule. So yeah. Thank you, and thank all the other presentations. How about Moodle? Is it just like the starting point is that you have accommodation to sell? What if you don't have accommodation to sell? Then you have to wait for a little bit. Or is it suitable for kind of like any tourism businesses, or mainly for accommodation businesses? We cannot hear you now. There is some kind of lag.
Correctly. Oh, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So currently, mainly for accommodation businesses, but we're launching the activity side on November. Mm-hmm. So after that, you can run your activity business on Moodle also.
Great. Is the software just in Finnish, or is it also possible for internationally to start using this software?
It is also in English. It's in the backend is in English and in Finnish, and then we have 6 translations for the front end.
All right, great. And so a company from the United States or the UK could just contact you and start selling their rooms and activities through Moodle within yes. A very short time period.
Yes, basically we have companies running their business in, for example, in Spain already with Moodle. There might be some localization work that we will do if someone's and when someone starts using it, because there might be different VAT or like taxation
issues.
That's on our roadmap, so you can start using it also from abroad.
Great. Yeah, these have been 7 really interesting presentations and companies, and now if we start to like zoom out and look at the big picture, it seems like there are already a lot of good options for entrepreneurs to choose sales channels and also booking systems and everything from the technology perspective, and activities as well, and all this visitor management connected to all that. So it looks like that we are in kind of like in the middle of transition, that previously, like, we had all these different channels that we had to operate individually. Now we have softwares and technology that allow us to do a lot of things at the same time. But what's next? Does this continue? Like, now we are seeing that there's different applications and softwares who all have their own, like, good sides, their own competitive advantages and own selling points. Will there be some kind of a like collaboration probably in the future that different platforms are going to make within the same field, or is there going to be really like a tough competition that who is going to have or have the biggest market share in the marketplace? How do you see it, or is it that there's so many like niches in the tourism field that basically everybody can find their own customers or their own markets within this field? Because we all know that it's a huge field, especially once it starts to recover from the pandemic. So there's a lot of business, and there's also a lot of business that is not yet digital. So probably that's kind of like the venue where companies are now competing at this moment to get businesses from the offline world into the digitized world. And as long as there are this kind of growth to be had, there's possibilities for many platforms and services to prosper. How do you guys see it, that we have Saku and Martin and Diego and Matti here still with us? Or Diego, you've been here and seen the presentation. It would be great to hear now how all of these positions and connects to what you are doing in Data Appeal.
Yeah, thanks, Juha. I actually agree with you. I think what you're going to find, and actually that's something I think is one of the unique selling points of what we have in terms of us helping businesses to become digital without them having to do anything. So one of the issues that we had, and we're working with several DMOs on this, is that they said that they would like to include, get information on all these small experiences around the destinations. And it could be a family-run business that is run by somebody that doesn't really believe in digitalization. They don't have the resources. They don't understand it. They think that they've always done it like that and it's fun and it's going to carry on like this. So a lot of tourism boards have that issue in convincing those key stakeholders to become a bit more digital. So in terms of us being able to map all these different points, we do all that hard work for the DMOs. So they don't have to go and engage and have these difficult conversations with businesses. Yeah. Basically, if there's any online trace anywhere about that particular point of interest, then we will have it. So we will be able to start allocating sentiment to a business that doesn't want to become digitized. Yeah. It's just that the reality is somebody might be saying, oh, look, this bakery is just amazing. And whenever you go to Helsinki or Stockholm or Oslo, you definitely have to go and try it, whatever it is. Yeah. So basically, I think that's what we've been seeing and some of the challenges that DMOs have been having. So I think in terms of the digitization side of things, I think that's something that we are resolving. But it's interesting what you're saying in terms of, and what the presentations were alluding to, in trying to not be a one thing and sort of incorporate activities, hotel bookings and so forth. I definitely do see that moving forward, only expanding and potentially getting to see even potentially the big players actually trying to buy smaller players in that market with very niche businesses as well. Because even big players like Expedia, for example, they were very badly hit during the pandemic and things like that. So they need to find new ways of reaching out to people.
Definitely so. And that was really excellent point, because this is one of the big questions that we've been discussing and with our students throughout the years, that what to do with businesses who are not online yet. How do we get them online? And that's probably with destinations one of the big issues and questions that how do we build the digital presence. But actually, as you said, businesses are already online, whether they know it or not, and it's just the fact that you can either like let it pass by you, or you can take some proactive actions into managing all that is already happening in digital channels.
Yeah, and I think Juho, just to add on that one, I think potentially tourism boards can actually take a different stance on it. Is before they would have struggled to get businesses to have a digital footprint. Now that they get that data and they know that these businesses have a digital footprint, so go and use that data to go and educate them.
Yeah.
And say, by the way, look, you didn't want to become digitized. You are digitized anyway. And this is what people are saying about you. So this is why it's important that you understand that people, whether you like it or not, are going to be commenting about your business, whether it's good, bad, needs to improve, or whatever it might be.
Absolutely. Martin, how do you see these issues?
Well, I mostly agree with what was said already. I think in order to enable tourism and to enable recreation as well for the local population, you need infrastructure. Besides nature, you need infrastructure, trails, accommodation, public toilets, and things like that. And of course, this is important to manage that, to have this, provide this in a good quality. But I think what's becoming equally important as we move on is to also provide a digital data infrastructure, and that's the basis, I guess, for all the businesses that try and provide added values in the digital space. Is that we really rely on data being available and being available in a good quality, no matter what kind of data that is. But I think things like the base maps, for example, this is really important information. If you have comments, ratings, and you can't put them on a map, then something's missing. And I think working together, collaborating on building up this digital data infrastructure, and the more open it can be in the future, the better for everyone. And of course, there will be some data streams that will be kept proprietary and will not be shared because they're the core of someone's business. But besides that, there's so many different data streams that should be open and that are not accessible yet in an open data format. And this is where we really need to collaborate and where everyone can benefit from each other. That's my point of view.
Absolutely, and I think that was one theme that came quite strong here in this webinar, that the role of data is it's not something that is coming, but it's definitely something that we are now living in. That we've been in academia, we've been talking for 5-6 years about smart tourism, how we move into connecting the offline and online world through data, and now we are seeing great examples of how that is being done in the practice and how that affects everything. And all these new possibilities for visitor management systems are a great example of that we get real-time information what is going on, and that allows us then to manage these issues. And one of the interesting things that we are now looking forward for is, will over-tourism come back, and in which timetable? And now destinations and businesses should have had time to prepare for that. And now we have the technology to understand what is going to happen. And I was really fascinated with Diego saying that there's the perfect correlation, or almost perfect correlation, between the sentiment and the visitor flows. So these give possibilities to manage over-tourism. So it's not like it's a technological problem anymore. It's more about like management and some kind of ecosystem level problem, that how different stakeholders manage tourism, and all this data that is now available should help. But how is that going to be actually used? What kind of decisions and by whom are made based on all this data?
Yeah, and I think, Juho, if I may, there's actually a very interesting point that Martin mentioned in terms of using the data to inform infrastructure needs, projects, improvements, and things like that. I'll tell you something very quickly with a very good example. What Martin was saying about the trails, and then I started to remember he mentioned toilets, and toilets came to me because we were doing a project for Queensland, and on the comments, you can see what people were saying in terms of from the different source markets. And one of the issues that seems to be with mostly people coming from the United States was about the lack of toilets in between certain parts of Queensland, which is of course basically very heavy on nature and things like that. So again, something like that, when potentially something that you may not consider, and the other ones was the lack of Wi-Fi and things like that. So you think that this sort of things might be the same for all people, but it might be very different. So potentially you can use that as information to promote Queensland in a different way to American tourists that you promoted to tourists in the UK or Germany or anywhere else. So that's the value of using that data. And to allude to what you were saying about, and what Martin was mentioning as well in terms of open share data and things like that, is we are trying to help the European Commission on projects around this and how we can make data more accessible to several businesses. And that is something that we're getting more and more involved with them. So I know there's something that they're looking at it, and also to inform policy in terms of the blurred lines between how to benefit from data from a commercial point of view, but then also what's the benefit to the actual consumer and the one who is providing that data anyway. So there is work being done in that area.
Yeah, and all the investments in APIs so that all these systems can be connected to each other is really great to see that that's increasingly happening. Let's say that this, even though data can be a huge source of competitive advantage, many businesses are still, well, APIs is also one way to create business models for the data that you have, and we are seeing it here that data is becoming more and more as a platform for tourism business, new business models in tourism. Great. Any questions from the audiences? You can just open your microphone, or any feedback, anything that you were left pondering after these presentations, or would like to know more about. Yeah, it's with Finnish students, it's always 15 minutes before you get a reply. So, but we are not going to keep you here that long. I've added the links to the chat for all the presentations here, and the recording will be available on our YouTube if you want to come back here soon. I'll email all the participants the address when we get it online. If nothing else, Marcus gives a feedback at the end that good overview of tech solutions available in the tourism industry. Indeed, I think so too. This is of course just one small part, but I'm really happy that we had a wide range of businesses and services all together present here, and there's so much you can do with technology if you just know what kind of solutions there are available. And that was one of the goals of this webinar. And of course, we are at the university are in the education business, so just having the knowledge that what you guys can do, what technology can do, and what kind of possibilities it has for developing tourism business is the first step in adopting these solutions and making tourism better, making it more efficient, making it more environmentally friendly, sustainable. There were some great examples of that as well as pleasurable and better for the tourists. So technology can do all that if we just know how to use it. Thank you all for joining this webinar, and hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on social media. You can find the links in the websites that I've added here. Thank you, and goodbye.